So with that being said, do you have to be inspired to put out a project because that's a lot of time to go by? Why has it been so long since you dropped music?
Well, I mean, I've been doing other things, film, television
Okay.
projects. I was on Empire for like 3 years. I was opening different businesses in California.
Right.
And I have to be inspired to do music.
Right.
I just don't want to be out there to be out there.
Right.
I feel like, and it took me a long time to figure out what I want to say. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? Like I could do a whole bunch of gunslinging raps and whole, like
Talking
yeah,
shit,
yeah,
right.
yeah, to talk, just talking.
Meaning, it's
Yeah,
meaningless.
yeah, but I don't think the game needs that now.
Right.
I think there's a lot of, you can sit back and be, disgruntled about the state of hip hop, right? And especially from our era, from our
Right.
graduating class, right? Or you could do something about it. I think that it's like put up or shut up time.
Right.
There's a lot of mindless music out. There's a lot of filler out, and I think the message, and there's nothing wrong with that because even when we were first putting records out, it was like fluff music out too.
Right.
But I think the issue is like the senior voices, the people who've been through this, the people who have already traveled the path that these new artists are trying to go,
Right.
are not getting the information that they need in order to feel confident about being original and being different. You know what I'm
I
saying?
got you. So, like the piggyback of what you're saying, like when we was coming up, you had a choice. You know what I mean? It was proportionally even. Like you had soft rap, but then you had like I can listen to Ice Cube, but then I can listen to Tribe Called Quest. I
Correct.
can
Yeah.
listen to the Alcoholics, but then I can listen to De La Soul.
Right.
Now everybody's on the same
Right.
level in terms of the mainstream music or whatever. So I think a lot of people feel that they got to do that, can't be themselves, be original, or
Right.
represent where
I
they actually
think
from.
I think people are chasing the success
Right.
and not chasing the creative, elevation.
Right.
I think the diversity of what the voices were and the messaging was in hip hop has changed dramatically. Everybody wants to have this super roller coaster ride to success
Right.
and the oh hey look at me contest. You know what I'm saying? I've just never been that guy, but I pride myself on loving the music.
Right.
Right, not loving the success. If the money comes,
Right.
if that's what you're here for, then put something in the game that doesn't exist, and the money will come. But if you just doing whatever and however, and the antics are bigger than your music, then I don't know if hip hop needs to be turned into like the World Wrestling Federation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know if that needs to happen.
Right. And then you spoke about doing other things like your businesses. You want to speak on your involvement with the cannabis business because you've been very successful with that. You know what I mean? Like, I think you open up a dispensary or you have things like that going
Yeah,
on. Speak on that.
I started with some brands.
Okay.
The brands were fire. I got the experience from there. And retail was the natural next step. I ended up partnering with a group of guys that really know what they're doing. And so my marketing, branding, I was like, instead of selling one brand, let's just sell everybody's stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we got 2 stores currently in LA, Xzibit's West Coast Cannabis.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we got the first store in Bel Air,
Okay.
and the second store is in Chatsworth.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. You said that properly.
Yeah.
Chatsworth.
Yeah.
Anything else civilized?
Right. Nah, that's dope. When you talk about, how do I say this without being disrespectful, but I feel like it was a shift last year. I feel like, not to bring up Kendrick and Drake, because, it's a dead horse in a way, but at the same time, I feel like it was a cultural war. It was ideologies clashing, you know what I'm saying? And unapologetic, you said that word, and I think you did. But being unapologetically hip hop
Yes.
is something that I don't think enough people stand on, or being like, yeah, I'm gonna sit this out for a few years, or I don't really have nothing to say right now. Let me just relax and just enjoy the ride. How hard is it for you to do that? And also on the same tip, I love how you put messages in the music. It's just it's not corny. It's not. You said y'all need to read some books.
Yeah.
And I love that line, bro, because I got a stack of books by my nightstand.
Yeah.
I ain't reading every one of them at the same time, but I got them in the queue.
Yeah.
I know that's like 3 questions in one, but it's dope seeing a mature but not corny, not preachy dude rapping still.
Well, we're the first. We're the
Yeah.
first. We're the first generation of, hip hop is only 50 years old.
Yeah, facts.
So we're the first. Like there's nothing before us to compare it to.
Yeah.
So now you got to go back. Part of that question is, hip hop is the only thing that has ageism, right?
Yeah.
I'm glad you're speaking on that.
And so you don't hear that in country, you don't hear that in R&B, you don't hear that, the rock and roll, the Rolling Stones are still touring to this day. But for some reason in hip hop, if you live past 25, then nigga, you an old head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think first of all, nobody owns hip hop. Nobody tells you when to start, nobody tells you when to stop.
Yeah.
Right? As long as I have the inspiration to make music, I'm gonna make it.
Yeah.
Right? Now you can try to compare it or tear it down or do whatever you want to do, compare it to, oh, well, he didn't sell like this guy, you know what I'm saying? Or, but we living in an age where things can be manufactured, things can be altered, things, perception is king. And so I feel like me putting out music right now is because I have something to say. Right? I don't know if this is going to be my last album, my second to last. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to be the one to figure out when that time is to transition into something else, right? But for right now, I love the music. I still love it.
Yeah.
I still love creating it. I still love being able to come up with something and push myself harder. You know what I'm saying?